Edward, the blue engine, runs a branch line from Wellsworth to Brendam. Boko also works on this line, and the two often get help from Donald and Douglas. When he's not taking the express all the way from Knapford, he takes the simple commuter to Brendam from Wellsworth with a stop at Sudbury. Edward likes this run because he gets to take his orange coaches, which are very special to him. Every day after pulling the branch line express, he comes to the carriage shed at Wellsworth to collect them. He always says hello, and the coaches are very happy to be with him. They have had many adventures with him, including the time he fought through a storm. Though they are old and were beginning to deteriorate. The Fat Controller knew this and spoke to Edward one morning.
Your orange coaches are in desperate need of repair, so tomorrow they will go to the works for a much-needed overhaul.
What will I pull in the meantime? Asked Edward. The Fat Controller smiled.
Well, we've just brought some new, very modern coaches on trial, and I'd like you to try them out.
Edward was worried. He didn't want the Fat Controller to replace his orange coaches with the new ones. The next day, Donald took his coaches to the works.
Goodbye, Edward,
said the coaches. Edward smiled. Take care. I do hope you're fixed soon. But deep down, he wondered if he would ever see them again. However, when the new coaches arrived, he forgot to be worried and was astonished. Gordon and James had their eyes glued.
Just look at these. Absolutely magnificent,
purred Gordon.
Yes, indeed,
agreed James. Edward backed down onto them.
Oh dear,
they spluttered.
A steam engine! How could this day get any worse?
Edward was shocked by this statement, but simply carried on.
Well, what are your names?
He said awkwardly as he left with the first passenger train.
Beverly and Jennifer,
they scoffed.
We are built for commuter service on the main line, not dirty steam.
But before they could finish, Edward went around a sharp bend off the main line, and there was a terrible squeak. Screamed the coaches.
That bend is too tight. This railway is rubbish.
You could say that again, murmured Edward's driver. These coaches aren't built for sharp bends. The journey was a struggle. Beverly and Jennifer's brakes were fidgety, which made starting up again extremely difficult. When Edward arrived at the docks, he was exhausted. Boko was there.
Hello, Edward. You look very worn out.
I'm fine,
panted Edward.
Just getting used to these new coaches.
Quite a weak fellow,
scoffed Jennifer.
Quite so,
added Beverly.
Let's see if he can get us back before Christmas.
Boko was very cross.
Absolutely horrid,
he murmured. Every time Edward took the coaches out, they complained and made the journey very difficult. But Edward ignored them and tried to carry on. Every time they go past the bend, they would squeak and squeal. And every time at the station, it was a huge struggle to get going again. Edward pressed on, but eventually his coupling was worn from the weight.
You better have a break. So Donald should do your work from now,
said the Fat Controller. So Donald took over. And unlike Edward, he was very easily irritated. So when the coaches started complaining, he spoke back.
Hush! No one cares about your problems!
How dare you speak to a lady like that?
Snapped Jennifer.
You filthy Scot!
Donald was very offended. He banged the coaches hard. The rest of the journey was not nice at all. Neither was the journey back. Then, as they approached the sharp bend, there was trouble. Donald was so angry he wasn't paying attention and was going too fast. By the time he realized, it was too late. Instead of a shriek, there was a crack as the coaches came off the rails.
You morons! Look what you did!
What we did? You did this, you contemptible buffoon!
The three squabbled like chickens, even when Douglas came with the breakdown train. The Fat Controller was very cross, and he spoke to Donald that evening. "I'm very sorry, sir. It's just that those coaches were extremely vulgar."
"I know that, Donald," said the Fat Controller. "They won't be on this railway any more, that's for sure. But you should have had better control over your anger."
Donald felt foolish. "How do you do it, Edward?" he asked.
Do what?
Replied Edward. "Ignore those coaches. How do you put up with yon devils?" Edward smiled.
I just pretend like they're not there at all. You'll find that there are many stupid people or engines or coaches in the world who say really mean things. But what they think doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you react. You can get into a fight and make things worse, or you can simply ignore them, which will make them look like an even bigger idiot.
But before Edward could continue, Duck bustled in, pulling some shiny new orange coaches.
"I believe these are for you, Edward."
Edward gasped.
Oh my goodness! Are those my coaches?
"Yes, indeed,"
chuckled the Fat Controller.
"All spick and span. I promise you, you will never have to put up with nasty coaches ever again."
"Hello, Edward," said the coaches. "We are pleased to have you back." Edward smiled.
So am I. Very pleased.
China Clay Works at Brendam is a very important place. It doesn't just supply Sodor's clay, but also supplies it to the mainland and other places far away. After the clay is collected, Bill and Ben take it in trucks to the docks, where it is either placed on ships or taken by other engines elsewhere on the island. The quarry is always busy, and sometimes Trevor and Terrence are brought to lend a hand. One day, it was scorching hot, but there was still a ton of work to do.
Get out of my way, Bill!
Screeched Ben.
All right!
Sheesh! Snapped Bill.
Don't be such a nag!
Trevor enjoyed listening to Bill and Ben's quarrels. He liked Bill and Ben, but sometimes he found them to be very silly.
Come on!
Growled Bill.
Hurry up! I'm coming! Gosh, now you're being a nag!
Retorted Ben. Chuckled Trevor. Never failed to amuse me, do those two.
Slow? I'm not. R2! Hey!
Shouted the quarrymaster. Stop bickering, you two, and get working. We're on a tight schedule. Bill snorted and huffed off, but he didn't see Boko ahead. Look out! Yelled the driver. An accident was barely prevented.
Get out of my way, Boko!
Excuse me, grunted Boko. I have the right of way. Be more careful next time. Good morning, Boko, whistled Trevor. How are you today? Boko chuckled. I was doing quite well until I was rudely interrupted by Bill and Ben's antics. Pah! Snorted Bill. Listen, you two, said Boko. Brendam Docks is extremely busy and chaotic. The ships are already delayed, so you need to get the clay delivered as soon as it's finished. The ships need to leave quickly. Now, I better get back to pulling freight. He's right, you know, said Trevor.
Oh, what do you know about hard work? Grumbled Ben. You work in an apple orchard.
"You little rascal!"
grunted Jim Cole.
"I'll tell you that!"
But Trevor interrupted him.
It's fine, Jim. Don't listen to them. Just they wait. I'll show them what hard work means.
He chuckled, but he didn't really know how.
What use is he?
Whispered Ben to Bill.
Giving rides to children at the fun fair?
He knows nothing about hard work.
I assure you he'll break down soon, sneered Bill. He can't go more than 10 miles per hour.
The twins snickered. Later that afternoon, Bill and Ben were getting water. Trevor was getting ready to go home. Just then, the foreman shouted, Bill and Ben, we need you to take this last load in quickly. The ship is already delayed, and it absolutely cannot miss the tides. Come on, Bill and Ben, said their drivers. But there was trouble. The driver couldn't switch the points. It's jammed, he said. Must have been damaged when the engines went over it too hard. It'll need new rails. The foreman was mortified. "Oh, no, 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 no!" he said nervously. "The ship leaves in less than half an hour. We have no time for that. Oh, dear, if the ship misses the tides, we'll be delayed for the whole night. And the businesses will suffer. Oh, no, 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 no." He scratched his head hard, trying to think of a solution. "Ugh, it's not even a mile to Brendam. Oh, only if we could pull the train ourselves." Just then, Trevor had an idea.
Sir, you say it's less than a mile,
He said.
What if I pulled it?
Bill and Ben burst out laughing.
I don't think that'd be very logical.
Said Jim Cole, but the foreman was delighted. Now, that's actually not a bad idea. In fact, it's brilliant. Your wheels are built to endure bumpy surfaces like sleepers. Do you think you have the strength to pull the weight of all those trucks?
I'll give it a jolly good try.
So Trevor puffed onto the rails and was hitched to the trucks. "All right, boy," said Jim Cole. "Show him what you've got." Trevor gave a great heave. At first, his wheels were slipping and the foreman was anxious. At last, Trevor found his grip.
I've done it! I've done it!
He panted. "Well done, Trevor!" everyone cried as Trevor slowly but surely puffed onward. It's not far at all from the quarry to the docks, but to Trevor it seemed like ages. Going no more than 5 miles per hour, Trevor struggled on. "Keep going, boy," encouraged Jim Cole. "Time is crucial."
I know.
Panted Trevor. He was beginning to wonder whether he could do it, but just gave a wheel turn after wheel turn. Soon he reached the docks, but had to go all the way to the end, where the boat was moored. Edward was astounded to see Trevor pulling a train.
My goodness, what a strong lad you are!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Counted Trevor as he slowly neared the loading point. All the other engines cheered him on. And at last, tired but triumphant, Trevor reached the loading platform just in time. He was absolutely pooped. "Well done, boy!" cheered Jim Cole. "You did it! You did it!" The Fat Controller happened to be at the docks, and he saw everything. He spoke to Trevor.
I am beyond impressed with your extreme dedication, Trevor. I shall look forward to having you working even more with my engines.
Trevor was absolutely thrilled.
Why, thank you so much, sir. But I still have to return the trucks.
Fortunately, that wasn't necessary, as Boko just then arrived after pulling a train and was glad to help. Trevor now has high respect on the branch line. Even Bill and Ben have to admit that Trevor, though it may not seem like it, is a very useful traction engine. Meanwhile, the Fat Controller was reflecting on the day's events.
It's clear to me,
He said,
that we need another diesel to help Bill and Ben.
but that's another story. The Fat Controller went to the China Clay Works with important news, but like usual, Bill and Ben were up to no good.
That's my line of trucks.
Huffed Bill.
It's not. It's mine. Yours is over there.
Snorted Ben.
It's mine. It's not. It's mine. It's not.
Bill and Ben, behave yourselves, or I shall send you to your sheds,
Said the Fat Controller.
Now, it's clear to me that we need another diesel here. There's only one available. He is new and keen to make an impression.
If I were you, whispered Boko, I'd get back to work right away.
Meanwhile, the Fat Controller was having doubts about his own decision.
I hope the new diesel doesn't cause even more confusion,
He murmured.
He's bound to have teething troubles.
And he was right. As the diesel went up Gordon's Hill the next day, he found it very difficult.
Oh, my grief and oil. I wasn't expecting this hill.
He tried his hardest, but there was a loud cough and splutter, and he was stuck in a cloud of smoke. Bother! He grumbled. Boko soon came to the rescue.
am sorry, said the Diesel. I've got teething troubles, all hot and bothered.
Boko smiled. I had those as well when I first arrived here, but the Fat Controller has some master workmen at his works, and they'll put an end to it. You're in good hands here.
The news soon spread like wildfire.
Apparently he's got teething troubles,
said Thomas to Percy.
Hey you two, this new Diesel's got a toothache. Good luck.
Bill was confused.
Why does Percy want to wish us good luck? Ben scoffed. Because he knows we'll need it. A Diesel with a toothache must be the worst Diesel of all.
Just then, the foreman spoke to them. Tonight, you will take your clay trucks to the docks and spend the night there. There's a lot of hard work to do tomorrow. So that evening, the twins did. They shunted the trucks into a siding and went to the shed where Edward and Duck were resting. Duck occasionally took freight down from Arlesborough.
You do look glum,
he said.
It's the new Diesel's fault,
squeaked Bill.
He's got a toothache.
Edward and Duck laughed.
He hasn't got a toothache, he's got teething troubles,
he chuckled.
This means he's new, and it causes some problems. In his case, it's his cooling system,
added Edward. Next morning, as the twins were getting a train ready, they heard an unfamiliar horn.
Oh no, it's the new Diesel!
And it was.
Hello, he said happily. I'll help you sort this train out. You take the front and I'll push from behind. What fun!
The three got the train going and were doing well. Until they reached Gordon's Hill.
Come on! Come on! Push harder, you silly Diesel!
Shouted Ben. But the Diesel couldn't.
Oh no! I'm overheating again!
And he did.
Oh, pa!
Huffed the twins. The driver thought hard. You know what? He sighed. Let's try to finish the journey anyway. It means we'll have to pull the Diesel as well as our trucks. Do you think you can do it?
We'll try.
And sure enough, they could. That night, the Fat Controller came to see them.
I'm very pleased with your efforts today, Bill and Ben. I've sent the Diesel back to the works, so can you manage alone for a little while?
Oh, yes, sir,
replied the twins.
And by the way, we've decided to name him Derrick. After he's fixed, he'll be a permanent member of this branch line,
said the Fat Controller. Bill and Ben were pleased.
You know, Derrick was actually quite friendly,
said Bill.
Indeed,
replied Boko.
And you know what friends do?
added Duck.
No,
said Bill.
What?
They always say goodnight to each other.
So they did. They talked about Derrick all night long. Derrick the Diesel sat at the works feeling glum. His class were not very reliable diesels, and he wondered if the modifications would do him any good. The Fat Controller came to see him.
Hello, Derrick. I know you had some problems, but they should be fixed now, he said. Despite your unfortunate malfunctions, I was very pleased with your work ethic. So, I'm glad to have you on this railway, he said. Now, you'll be on your way to Edward's branch line.
Yes, sir,
said Derrick as he left. He was feeling quite well as he cruised along the main line. Then he reached Gordon's Hill.
Oh no, not this hill again,
he moaned and thought for the worst. But before he realized it, he was at the top and speeding down the other side.
Oh, I really am fixed. Oh, I feel absolutely wonderful,
he said joyfully. He arrived at the clay works and learned what he had to do. He had to take china clay from the clay works to places all around the island. He soon became friends with many of the engines, including Henry and James. Gordon didn't dislike Derrick, but did not approve of how noisy and smoky he was.
Careful with the smoke,
He snorted.
this is a brand new coat.
Sorry, said Derrick.
Don't mind him,
Grunted Henry.
he can get all puffed up.
Oh, I've gotten much worse, thank you, laughed Derrick. Considering the fact I couldn't get up hills. Henry could well relate to Derrick's problems.
You know, you're not the only one, he said. When I was first built, I was a complete hybrid of so many engines.
And Henry told him about his history. Later, Derrick pulled into Wellsworth Station with some china clay trucks. He was done with the day's work, but had to wait for Gordon to pass before returning to Brendam.
He's coming by with the non-stop service,
Said Edward. What does that mean? Asked Derrick.
It means that it goes directly from Knapford to Vickerstown without any stops between. Gordon takes it once a day.
Just then, they heard Gordon's whistle.
Here he comes,
Said the Fat Controller, who happened to be at the station. Gordon rushed through the station with a roar. But something didn't seem normal.
That's strange. Gordon didn't have a brake coach,
Said Edward. Maybe he just didn't take one, replied Derrick.
That would be against railway regulations,
Corrected the Fat Controller.
All express trains are required to have a brake coach, so...
But before he could finish, Edward interrupted.
I think I found the brake coach.
Oh, Gordon!
Bellowed the Fat Controller. There, slowly rolling into the station were the last two coaches of Gordon's train. The guard braked them to a stop at the platform. The passengers were furious. The coupling must have broken, said the guard.
Indeed,
Grumbled the Fat Controller.
we must get the passengers back to their train. Oh dear, this will be difficult. By the time Gordon realizes, he may already be at Vickerstown.
I'd definitely do it, but I'm about to leave with these passengers for Brendam,
Said Edward.
Yes, don't delay any more passengers, Edward. Go on ahead. Do you think you can do it, Derrick?
Asked the Fat Controller.
I think so. Hitch me up,
Replied Derrick. So Derrick pushed the coaches along the line furiously. He charged up Gordon's Hill. The passengers were anxious, so were the coaches.
We're already late. We mustn't be dreadfully late,
They said.
I'm trying. I'm going as fast as I can,
Panted Derrick as he ran down the other side of the hill. As he approached Marin, there was no sign of Gordon.
Bother! We must keep going.
He said as he rushed through. Fortunately, Gordon had stopped at Kronk, wondering what had happened. How did we not notice this? Said the driver. Maybe a coupling snapped. Anyway, we'll have to go back and find the last two coaches. The passengers were angry. We're already late, they grumbled. Poor Gordon felt very stupid. Come on, boy. Let's go find our stranded passengers, said the driver. He was just about to start when the station guard waved a red flag. There, in the distance, was Derrick with Gordon's coaches. Derrick was exhausted but relieved to see Gordon. Well, would you look at that, laughed Gordon's driver. That Diesel's chased after us all this way to give us back our coaches. The passengers were very pleased with Derrick. What a useful Diesel, they said. The coaches were coupled up, and Gordon raced out of the station, determined to make up for lost time. That evening, he spoke to Derrick.
I'm sorry I was rude to you. Thank you for saving my passengers,
He said glumly.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Smiled Derrick.
It was glad to help and feel useful.
Well, you definitely are a useful Diesel,
said Gordon. Thank you, replied Derrick. He now felt like he belonged on the railway. And he did. He is a proud member of the Fat Controller's Railway.